Satnam Aloha, whoever is on here. Let me see if there's anybody on here. Yay. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, looks like we're on. And please let me know if you hear an echo on the microphone. Last week there was an echo, and but I think I found the problem with that. Okay, let me just get the. There we go. Okay. Okay. So welcome everybody. And so we're going to start off with a little pranayama to get you in your body. So this is called breath of fire, right? Breath of fire. If you are a practitioner or a teacher of Kundalini Yoga, you'll be very familiar with breath of fire. So this is great to do, especially now if you're wearing that mask, for any length of time. You're depriving all your cells in your body of oxygen and prana, right? The life giving energy, prana, chi, or neutrinos, right? Neutrinos are that too. So how you do it is it's equal inhale, exhale of the breath through the nostrils. So it's inhale, exhale, equal breath, and it's originating from your navel, so down in your navel. So the way I like to explain it to people is like panting like a dog, but only through your nostrils. So it sounds like this. So just put your hands in Gyan Mudra. You might as well do a mudra too. Give you wisdom. So ego is the thumb, and this is wisdom. It's Jupiter, right? So press those two together. Bring that down to your knees, and come sitting up with a straight spine. So it sounds like this. So you go at your own pace, and your eyes are focused at your third eye, the point between your brows, the whole time, and you're just relaxing. So if you focus more on the exhale, like making a effort for the exhale, the inhale will take care of itself. So if you haven't done this before, just take your time. And if you're watching this and it's like, I want the information, don't go there. Get in your body, and then you'll be able to receive. This is about receiving. Okay, so give it a try. See what happens. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to put my timer. I'm going to do it too. So let's do breath of fire. Only for a couple minutes. There we go. So inhale to begin. Exhale and begin. And make sure that your shoulders stay down and relaxed the whole time. And we'll do one more minute to go. And inhale deeply through the nostrils. Suspend the breath. And bring all your focus to your third eye, the point between your brows. And hold the breath. And exhale. Again, inhale deep. Suspend the breath. Focus at your third eye and consciously expanding your aura. 9 feet in every direction. Nice healthy aura. Keep you protected. Exhale. And one last time. Inhale deep. Suspend the breath. And just feel every cell in your body, every one of the trillions of cells in your body expanding, and protecting you from all pathogens, all parasites. And exhale and relax. And just feel yourself for a moment. So focusing at the point between your brows, your third eye. And expanding your awareness, opening your mind, becoming receptive. Embracing that mantra, I do not know, I do not know, I do not know, I know nothing. And in that way, the wisdom of the universe can flood in for you. Just become open and receptive. And inhale deep. And exhale. So that's a good daily practice to do if you don't have a daily sadhana, is to do breath of fire, right? Because what it's doing a lot of things, basically, but it's opening up that emotional body, right? This is what's getting purified now for the Aquarian age. So breath of fire can shake up the emotional body for you. And so we're working with the pathway of awareness. I may have not have talked about this in the YouTube videos, but my programs I do. The Inner Child program works with this pathway of awareness. So basically, the 4 layers, right, are physical, mental, emotional, and then vibrational. So for this evolutionary energy, it's right, we're penetrating back. We're going back to vibrational awareness. So this is our frequency. It's crazy. Somebody's calling, some spammer. So this is basically our frequency. This is our unique frequency that we're moving back into. And this was us in the womb, actually in the womb before we incarnated, right? This is our unique frequency. And everybody has a unique signature, right? Everyone has a unique signature. So this is the frequency that this evolutionary energy is moving us back towards, right? We're becoming more and more of our original self. So the energy of evolution means that we're growing and expanding past these 5 senses, right? This belief, that's the mental, right? The belief that we're only these 5 senses, we're only these bodies, we're only these little vulnerable humans. And so who we really are is the vibrational. And it's moving now into the emotional body. This is what the solar plexus mutation is all about. And collectively, like let's bring it to we consciousness, that's the Aquarian age. Collectively, we are a mess. We're a huge mess emotionally because we've got all that stuck crystallized energy, right? That's crystallized in the emotional body. This isn't just coming from you and your personal life. It's coming from your parents and their grandparents and the great-grandparents, all your whole ancestral line. And then, right, the collective of humanity and all of our ancestral memory, right, is they are stuck there. So that's what we're seeing out here on the external, right? It looks like complete chaos, complete and utter chaos. This is just a manifestation, right, of our emotional body, what's going on in our emotional body. It's coming from inside each one of us, and then it's projecting out onto the world stage. So that's why it's like deja vu a little bit. Like How can this happen? This happened in the 30s with Nazi Germany and World War II and this and that. All the stories are out there. All the karma is out there. And this is our ancestral memory that's being purified, right, for this new age of Aquarius. So, and also the mental body is being cleansed and purified of limited belief systems. So we're also seeing this in the external world, right? So the belief, this belief pattern that's been so entrenched in the mental body and the psyche of humanity, we're not all equal. We're not all equal. Some people are better than other people. Some are worse than other people. Some are given more power, right? We give these people more power, and these other people we demonize, right? We put them on the pedestal, and then we project all our hatred on this group over here. I'm just throwing out some ideas. I mean, that could be a whole workshop right there, right? But the truth is, we're all equal, right? We're all children of God. And in that equality, that we're all equal, we're also all diverse, right? We're all diverse, and that's that vibrational awareness that we're moving to. Our unique signature that we've come in the world with. No one else has it, only you. So that's our uniqueness. And this is our power, right? This is our power, is our authenticity. I talked about this in the last video. That's our power and our uniqueness and authenticity. That's our signature, right? That we're moving back to. So the Aquarian age is the unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. So we're not, it's a paradox. I love paradoxes. There's so much truth in them that we're not going to achieve unity consciousness, until we are unique. Each one of us are unique. The ego doesn't understand that. That's anarchy if everybody is just being their individual self, right? That's not what I'm talking about. Your uniqueness is what, my uniqueness, your uniqueness is what connects us all into this beautiful web that we're coming back into called unity consciousness. Okay? So, I mean, if that's one thing that you can do for the world right now, is to be yourself, your true self, not the ego self, but you, like really, really be you in this lifetime. And nothing else is going to work anyway. That's why all this stuff is going away. You know, everything that you're losing in your life right now, it's like, thank you, God, because it's not aligned with that vibrational awareness, that uniqueness of who you are. Else it would still be in your life. So I hear this a lot. Like, how can we change the world? How can we change the world? There's like a panic, right? How do we do it? How do we change the world? Well, the world is neutral. What, doesn't make sense? What are you talking about? Well, the world is neutral. It's like a movie screen, right? If you go into a movie theater and you're early, maybe before those ads are coming on too, it's just neutral. It's just all white. There's nothing going on, right? Well, that's the world. And what we're doing now, we're participating in a collective projection of our unintegrated, disowned self, right? Another word for that is shadow. Everything that hasn't been integrated within us is being projected out onto that screen, right? The world is neutral. So this is what we're perceiving. We're perceiving that collective shadow. And again, it's coming from our ancestors too. And what's the shadow emotionally? The shadow is our deepest unconscious fears. It's our deepest unconscious fears are unfolding before our very eyes. So one of the biggest fears is survival, right? That's like our top fear is survival, right? Survival of the species. Another fear is losing our freedom, right? So you'll start to see patterns, right? When you start to align yourself and begin to perceive the truth, right? So the best way to change the world is to change yourself. That's the best way to change the world, is to change yourself. And you're no longer participating in this collective projection of shadow. What you're doing is you're vibrating, right? You're vibrating love and peace and joy, right? That's when you're in your unique self. You're automatically going to be vibrating that, right? Love, peace, and joy. And you can only do this if you feel, right? If you feel love, peace, and joy. That's the end product of a purified emotional body. You can't just think about love, do a bunch of mantras and affirmations about love or peace or joy, or hold up a placard, right? And at the same time, you're fighting with your neighbor or your sister or your spouse or whatever, right? It's not going to work. It's not going to work, right? It's about integrity. And your integrity is when you're your unique self, when you're in that vibrational presence. So the Aquarian age is really about being the embodiment of truth. You know, I was meditating on this the other day, and maybe I'm an early indigo, right? So we're really good at seeing BS, right? Ever since I was a child. And I never got why nobody else could see it till I met other indigos. And the whole world is starting to see now, right? It's the inverted world, right? It's the more we put on the masks are dropping, right? The masks are dropping so that you really get to see people, right? It's the imprint. The imprint is going to be right there on the physical, right? No more hiding in the Aquarian age. No more hiding. The embodiment of truth, the Aquarian age. And the other thing that I remembered is, I love this story. You may have heard this before. I think I posted this meme on my Instagram. That somebody asked this man, what would you do if you were in the middle of the ocean, right? What would you do if you were in the middle of the ocean and you were surrounded by sharks, right? What would you do? What would you do? And he said, well, I would stop imagining, right? I would stop imagining. So it's like dreaming, right? I would just stop dreaming. So stop manifesting this. And we stop manifesting this out here by doing our inner work. This is our spiritual work, our spiritual effort is to change from inside. Go to the cause. Why go out here twiddling with and trying to control out here in the external? It's not going to give long-lasting change, right? It's like to go inside, go to the cause. So the best thing that you can do right now is to... Bougie, that's my dog. Hey! Shh. The best thing to do right now for you is just what's coming up for you, right? What comes up for you in your life, and to own it and take self-responsibility for it. Okay, so stop the dreaming. So I'm going to stop dreaming this, right? I'm going to stop dreaming this. I'm going to stop participating in this collective nightmare, right? I'm going to create something new by changing what's going on inside me, right? Doing my inner work. So this shadow that I want to talk about, it's the shadow of expectation and failure. And that's coming up. Let me just get the chart out. Yeah. Where do we go? Okay. There's the chart there. And is there an echo? Let me know if there's an echo. This is what happened last time when I switched over. Yeah. Okay. The shadow of expectation. So let's talk about this. So this has everything to do with perception. And I'll give you some dates so you know what to work with. So the great thing about these lives and my videos is you can kind of hone in on what shadow to work on. And especially like check your chart. If you got this 42 in your chart, anywhere in your chart, then it's going to be especially resonating with you. You know, there's 64 shadow patterns, but we all have all of them. Really, they're in our ancestral memory, but they're connected to our DNA too. But if you've got the 42, then it's really going to resonate for you. So you can see we're still in shock. The sun is still in shock on May 5th, right? It's going to be there until Friday. Then it moves to the 42 and expectation. So Uranus and the sun have been in that gate of shock and agitation. And thank you to everybody that wrote their comments on my last YouTube video. So people have been experiencing shock, right? Shocking, surprising things have happened. And this live is really about the 42. But what I'll say about the 51 is that it's the greatest gift of the 51 is awakening. It's called awakening. And this is like the tiger on the path, right? If a tiger comes on your path, I put in quotation marks, like something surprising and shocking happens in your life, it's a gift because it's awakening you out of that dream. It's shocking you out of that dream. That's what it means to be awake, right? So whatever shocks you experienced or witnessed in others, these are opportunities. It's not an opportunity to go back into poor me, I'm a victim, why did this happen to me? It's more like, okay, there's a shock here. The universe is calling me to change, right? I have to change. This is an opportunity for me to expand and grow and evolve through this experience, right? So the 42 will come into play on Friday. So you're getting the heads up now of expectation. And then it's going to be there until May 12th. So basically a week, right? A week. Okay. Let me get some water. So this is that breath of fire that I showed you how to do. This is a great way to work with shadow too, because the shadows are originating physically in the physical body, is in our navel region, right? The solar plexus. Okay. So you can see that 42.1. And there it is. This is the sacral. It's called the sacral. You see the 42 and the 27. That's the sacral. Okay. So the 42, expectations, the shadow of expectation. So this is about attachment, right? And it's about the mind, right? It's about the mind. So the mind has a vision of what your life should be, right? And it uses age, right? Because it has to do with shadow, has to do with time, age. I should be in this place in my life right now. I should have children. I should have whatever the mind has for you. And our expectations are just completely being blown up right now, like collectively. Life is not going as planned, right? These are our expectations. So this can bring disappointment. It can bring disappointment. That's the emotion. Is I'm feeling disappointed because reality isn't matching up with what my mind's image is. The story I have in my mind is not matching up with reality. So there's a resistance. And that resistance causes a friction, and that's friction with life. Soon as you're in that state, you're separate, right? You're separate. There's separation. There's you and life. There's you and that other person. That other person isn't fulfilling my expectations. You know, it isolates you. That's not where you want to go. And that's where shadow has us, isolated from one another. We're in this illusion. It's like a delusion. It's like a mental illness, right? This is expectation. So it's about, the gift here is detachment. It's detachment. So, right? So expectations are about attachments. I'm attached to things being a certain way. I'm attached to people being a certain way. It's very controlling, isn't it? Have you ever experienced that with people? If maybe in yourself, if they're not following the script, or you're not following the script with them and they can get really angry. That's that shadow lashing out. You're not playing your part, right? You're not saying what I want you to say or doing what I want you to do. Right? Do you see how this is a dangerous game with expectation? And then you're not your authentic self, are you? When you're playing some role in some script for another person, or you want everybody else to play a role too for you. So where can you see your attachments? It's really easy. You'll know what your attachments are in a real authentic way. When life seems to be going out of control, out of your control, your attachments will flare up. Even if you talk a good talk. Yeah, right? Oh, I don't really care about money. Money doesn't mean anything to me. And then something happens in your life and your bank account's going down, right? The numbers are going, and right, and the panic and the fear is rising at the same time. Well, I've seen this with spiritual people. That's why it's funny. That's why I can laugh about it. And I can laugh at myself too about it, right? It's like, oh, I'm obviously attached because I'm having such an emotional reaction to this, right? So my mind is full of BS, right? That's when you know what your attachments are. So it could be it's usually money because that connects with fear of survival, or relationships. It could be like a relationship starting to end, right? It could be something like that. But it involves change. So whatever comes up for you with change, because Uranus is in that gate of shock too, right? It's in that shadow of a shock. So we're going to experience more and more shocks. And it's just to get us out of, waken us, right? Get us out of our slumber. Then you're going to see, oh, that's a huge attachment for me. That's an attachment for me. And it goes back to your ancestors, all the way back, right? Because it was their attachments too. So the thing with expectation, right? It's the gift of detachment. So it's about detaching from your mind's thoughts. My life should be this. My life should be that. It's like detaching, right? Stepping back from the emotions that are coming up, right? Feeling them. That's how you step back. You can't step back until you feel them, right? And then the mind's thoughts won't be going crazy because that's what's fueling the mind, right? Are those stuck emotions that are getting jarred, right, through your life experience. So detachment, right? Reminding yourself, I'm a spiritual being having human experiences. I was never born, I will never die. I'm an eternal being of light, right? I'm just having human experiences. That's all that's going on. And to let go. Detachment is to let go of the story of how your mind thinks your life should be going. Like, kiss that all goodbye. Kiss the 5-year plan goodbye. We're in the new, right? And time is disappearing. Do you notice that? Like, time's speeding up. It's hard to remember I did this. What did I do last week? Last week feels like 10 years ago because life is bringing us more and more into the present moment. That's what's real, right? That's eternity. So detaching, right? Detachment. And it's not going to be without some effort for you. It's all about feeling, right? Feeling. You're not going to get to that place until you feel all the stuff that comes up. And there's a beginning and end to those feelings. So the 42 also has to do with life and death, has to do with beginnings and endings. So everything that we see out here in the matrix has a beginning and an end. So this week you're gonna see, right, what's ending. Something is ending in your life, and we'll go through the wheel quickly according to your sign, so you can have some idea of what part of your life that's going to take place in. And this is letting go, right? It's letting go. This is about rebirth, right? Starting something new. So everything begins and everything ends. But when we're in expectations, we want to cling to it. We don't want things to end, right? And the lesson here is we have to trust life, right? To detach is to really trust life. That life knows best, right? Life knows best. I don't need to control this, right? And then letting go of the disappointment, right? The disappointment. And it's normal. Don't beat yourself up if you feel disappointed or you feel afraid. Don't give you, right? Be human, be compassionate to yourself first. And it's just about feeling. That's all that wants to happen, is this integration of the emotional body. And then you can be in the flow of the universe, right? You can have true perception, right? When you're looking from the shadow, when you're perceiving from the shadow, you're not seeing life as it is. You're not seeing reality, right? You're in some delusion when you're in the shadow, right? All you see is fear. All you see is separation. All you see is anger. All you see is disappointment. And the other thing is aging. This is a big one. This rules aging too, right? This physical body. Yes, we're eternal, but this physical body is as soon as we're born, it's in decay, right? In a sense, right? So this is the clinging on to staying young, right? The shadow can do that expectation of staying young. And then the shadow can also get you stuck in old patterns because you don't let go, right? You don't learn the lesson of your life experiences, so you keep repeating them. You keep repeating them. You notice that with patterns in your life? Why is this happening again? I can't believe this is happening again. If that's coming out of your mouth, you haven't learned the lesson, right? So life is very generous in giving us the lessons that we need to learn to evolve. So when you're in the gift of detachment and celebration is honoring your life and honoring your experiences that got you to the place you are now. All your life experiences are like stepping stones to where you are now, right? So that's when you know that you've integrated the shadow pattern. Is you celebrate. Oh, that was awesome. I got to spend that many years with that person, right? And now they're gone, right? Like look at your life like that. Or I lived in this place for many years and I have such pleasant memories. And it's also about staying optimistic about what life is bringing you, shutting one door and other doors opening, right? That it's going to be better for you. And life knows best. Life will bring something better to you. So when you're in your gifts, and it's a gift to be able to see your attachments. I can see them now. I can see them now, right? I'm not under their control. I'm not motivated by my attachments. I'm not panicky. I'm not creating all this karma with other people. I'm going to take that person to a divorce court and I'm going to get every cent for them or from them or whatever it is, right? It's like, oh, I'm just attached. I'm not letting go, right? It's the easy way to live. And it's remembering that you're a part of this great human story, right? We're in, like, if you're reading a book, Lord of the Rings, we're in the trilogy now. We're in the third one, right? For the Aquarian age. And you're part of that book, right? You're part of that book that's being written. So you're in this great cycle. You're in this great cycle. It doesn't mean you're special, right? That's the ego. It means you're unique. You had a unique part of the story of awakening. And then also with your awareness, with detachment, your awareness, right? This is your natural intelligence. You could call it the observer too. You're not identifying with the movement. So you're there watching the movie out here, but you're not identifying with all the movement, right? The movement's just happening. That's the phenomenal world, right? That's the matrix. Things come and go. People will come and go in your life, right? The frame, what you're seeing out in the movie is going to change, right? But you don't identify with it. It's like, I'm just having these experiences. And this brings you back to that vibrational awareness, right? This is pure consciousness. Okay. So it's about something coming to an end. So Timur says, hope I pronounced that right, letting go of the past. That's definitely the shot of expectation. Okay. Free to do your life. That's right. Keep doing what you're doing as long as it's not hurting another, right? Doing what you're doing. And coming from the soul. Yeah, that's right. That's the Dave. That's the definition of insanity, right? It's doing the things over and over and over again. Same things, but expecting a different outcome. That's insanity. So this is a real opportunity to let go, right, of some old patterns. Okay, so I want to go through the signs. And my apologies to those Scorpios. Last time I laughed at that. Okay. So, oh, that breath of fire got me sweaty. Okay, where do we go here? Where's the scene? Yeah. You know, that's an interesting comment by Jail. That I've been really dealing with this for the last few weeks. Feels like Spirit is preparing me. It's true. There's never a surprise, you know? There's never this huge shock. I feel like life is really generous and kind of giving us the heads up, like little clues of what is happening so we're prepared. Yeah. So what you do is you go to astro.com, astro.com, get your chart, your astrological chart. Okay, and it's all free. And then you're going to see ASC, or first house, right? Because it's a wheel. And then the first house, that's your rising sign. That's your ascendant. So astrology is divided up into 12 sections. And each section is it's archetype in a sense. And it will show you what place in your life, the stage. Okay, where exactly is this going to take place in my life? Just so that you have some more information. And then if you go to jovion.com, then you can get your human design chart. I usually I think there's a link. There's links in my information box. Okay. Okay. So we'll start off with Taurus. It's Taurus. Okay. So Taurus rising. This hell has to do with your image. Let me just get my wheel here so I can to stay on track. Yeah. So there can be expectations about the aging again, right? How you're aging, how you appear, what your body should look like, right? All about those things. There can be expectations. I just want to have my things in line here. This is a live, so yeah. And it can also be your approach to life, expectations, and there's expectations of how you're supposed to approach your life. I'm supposed to be spiritual, so I can't swear or cuss, things like that. This is breaking. There's an attachment there. Remember with expectation. So there could be an expectation. Maybe you were given praise for your appearance and the way that you looked, right? So it's about going deeper into what's motivating you. Why are you doing this, right? So it's about detaching that. Okay, my body is aging, my body is changing, and that's okay. I'm not this body, right? I'm not this physical body. This is my vehicle. God gave me the drive through life in, but it's not who I am, ultimately not who I am. So it's about celebrating these natural rites of passage that we go through, as we age. Okay. No. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first one. And there's always a programming partner. So you can see up here, there's the 32. See the 42 and the 32? So I want to bring the 32 in too. So the 32 is the shadow of failure. And this has to do with money, right? Failure. So the shadow makes us think that we are not successful unless we have the Monero in the bank, this amount of money, and then we're successful, right? So with Taurus rising, this is going to take place in your 7th house, and that has to do with your relationships and your partnerships, right? Like business partners and things like that. So there can be something that goes on that you had an expectation, right? uh, with this around your body and how you appear, and it has to do with, like, it could be a romantic partner too, right? That there's this sense of failure that will come up in that area of your life, the sense of failure. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's go. Got a lot of balls in the air here. Yeah. I'm just giving you the Coles notes here. Okay, so Gemini rising. It's going to take place in your 12th house. So this is karmic, right? This is karmic, and it's ancestral for the Gemini rising people. So there can be because it's the 12th house, it's the final house. So it could be like something really, really important for the Gemini rising people that they go through during this week. And this is taking care of unfinished business with the 12th house, right? So there could be expectations that go. I mean, we're all dealing with ancestral memory, but Gemini rising people are really going to feel that. And it could come through your dreams, Gemini rising, like coming through your dream world, what exactly your attachments are. And these are like heavy cords. You talk about cords, attachments. These are ropes, right, for Gemini rising. So it's really about, I would suggest even just reflecting or send your prayer out, like to God, the universe, the divine, like, okay, what are these attachments that are dissolving for me, right? And then you'll get the information through the dream world. I do this all the time, right? Before I go to bed, sometimes I'm so confused, I don't know what this is about, and I send a prayer for it to come through the dream world. And it does, because the 12th house is also your ancestors. So this is deeply, deeply karmic, this shadow of expectation for you. Okay. And, past lives, all that stuff. Okay. And there can be the shadow of failure around your work, your day-to-day work and your job. You can feel that. And also with the shadow of failure, I want to say is it's dying. Remember, there's a huge theme of death, but something is going away. So Gemini rising, something's going away with your work, what you're doing day to day. Taurus, something's going away with contracts that you've signed. Business partners, something is going away. But the emotional part of it's like, I'm a failure, or that other person is a failure. So you're either internalizing it or you're externalizing it. But what's the lesson here, I want to say, is called preservation, and that means that you're feeding what's alive. Like, what's alive for you, Gemini rising, in your day-to-day job? What do you really enjoy doing? And then feed that. Oh, I don't like this. This is going away. I used to really like it, but I'm not into it anymore. Don't feed it anymore. Feed what's alive, right? Preservation, what to preserve. Okay, right on. Let your soul shine. Says, yeah, pipe in when I get to your rising sign, just so I can add more, right? And my variable is 3 parts right, so this is important for me right now from the awareness readings that I do. Okay, Gemini rising, spot on. This week I've been realized that I've been battling my whole life for generational ancestral trauma. It's been very strong and deep this week. Yeah, so really be compassionate with yourself, Gemini rising, because this is huge. Okay. Cancer rising taking place in your 11th house. Expectations around friendship, right? Friendship, your network of friends. Maybe some friends let you down, right? Or will let you down. Also about your hopes and dreams, right? It could be your hopes and dreams. Oh, I hoped and dreamt that I would, I would be in this position in my life, or I would have this home. I dreamt of like having this home and I would retire and this and that. And then like everything just blew up, right? I had attachments to these dreams, these hopes and dreams. So this is what you're letting go of, right? That there's something happening and changing with your network and your friendship. Maybe you're losing a friend, but you'll be gaining friends too. And then on the other side, there's failure with, where we are, Cancer. There's failure with the 5th house. So that could come with the child if you're a mom or dad, right? Children. Sense of failure in your children, maybe feeling you failed as a parent or failed in some creative project. I feel like a failure. I wasn't able to complete this creative project. But again, you got to look at through new eyes, elevate up, get your frequency up. Oh, it just means that this part of the creative project is not working anymore for me. I need to switch gears. You got to be flexible, right? The Aquarian age is all about being flexible and in the flow, ready to change. Don't get attached to things. Don't get rigid. Yeah. Okay. So that's the Cancer rising. Leo rising. Let's get Leo up here. Leo rising is the 10th house. There's just so much going on in the 10th house for Leo rising. And this is having expectations about where you should be in your career, in your vocation, and how other people see you, right? There's expectations of maybe you're a father, because the 10th house reads father or authority figures, expectations of authority figures. They're not really in integrity, right? I expected that they would be like this and they would do this, and they're not coming through, right? It's disappointing, right? This is the shadow. It's disappointing to me. I'm disappointed with where I am in my career right now. And then it's going to come through on the other side, and that's about your home. So you can feel like a failure with your home, right? You're not able to manifest the home that you want, right? And again, it's money. I don't have enough money to buy a home or take care of myself, or right. I have this dream and I just feel like a failure, like nothing's happening. It's going to be connected to your career, right? So this is about preservation, right? Is this really where the energy is for me right now? Maybe it's a dream I had or a belief system I had from my family, because the 4th house is also about your family roots and your mother, that you're only a success if you own a home, right? If you're a householder, you're only a success. I love this. You may have seen this. There's this whole movement happening about with so-called homeless people, and I saw this little interview with a homeless community in Portland, Oregon. This was like years ago. And so they've all gathered in this community, and they're all in tents, and they've got this whole little society happening, right? Right? And it's very efficient, and this is how the garbage works, and it's like a microcosm, right, of a new society. And then they're interviewing, and the person is saying, how does it feel to be homeless? And he goes, I'm not homeless. The guy looks at it. He goes, I'm not homeless. I'm houseless, right? There's a difference, right? Because wherever I go, there I am, right, in my home. My home is really in my heart. And I thought, yeah, what a switch, because there's such a stigma in our society around that, to be homeless or to be houseless, right? And why is there a stigma? Because it's a debt society, right? We live in our whole society is based on consumerism and debt, keeping people in debt, keep people enslaved. And what a great way to enslave somebody is like a mortgage that you pay until the day you die. Yeah, so don't look at it as a failure, Leo rising. And I really feel like, and I'll probably do a video just on this, about these two division of humanity. What's happening, right? What's happening to us right now? We're dividing. People are making their choices from fear or love. And you may have some people in your life that are doing that right now. There's going to be breakout societies. That's what I feel, like breakout societies where we do create the Aquarian age, but it's not going to be on a global, right? It's going to be these small clusters and community. That's the Aquarian age, what that rules. Okay, so don't go into failure, Leo rising. Let's go for Virgo. Virgo rising. And that is 12, 11, 10, 9. So that's the 9th house. Yeah, so there can be expectations around, say you got a spiritual teacher, right? You had expectations of your spiritual teacher. They let you down. You're disappointed. They should do this. They should know this, right? It could be a total disintegration of your belief system, because that rules your belief system too in your higher education. There could be expectations of that. Well, I went to school for 25 plus years, and I got all these letters behind my name, and right, it means nothing now. I have no practical skills, right? I have no practical skills for this new age of Aquarius. So there could have been expectations there. And so to detach from that place, and then it's coming through on your 3rd house. So failure, you can maybe feel a sense of failure in terms of your communication, or maybe you don't feel like you're getting paid enough for what you're doing if you're a writer, speaker, right? You feel like a failure in that sense. Maybe you're not your mind is like, there's not a flow here for me. It may play out in your 3rd house. Also siblings too. There could be sense of failure with your siblings, or just your general, the people that you see every day. This is coming up, this sense of failure, right? But it has to do with higher education, the higher education. Or religion too. You may have expectations with your chosen religion. Okay. So that's Virgo. There's Libra. So Libra is the 8th house, right? The 8th and the 2nd. So this could be expectations around a marriage partner, a sexual partner, because the 8th house real sex. Expectations of your partner and what this relationship should bring, or it's not bringing enough transformation for me. It's not giving me what I expected, right? It could be like expectations around inheritances too, right? Money from the government too. It can rule that too. Other people's resources. So there can be expectations around that. And again, it's detached. Oh, I'm attached, right, to this relationship saving me, or I'm attached to this money coming in for me. This is going to save me. Whatever it is, it's going to show your attachments this week. And then on the other side, you can feel failure with money, because it's in the money house. That's really going to affect you. Failure around money. Feeling like a failure because my savings are going down. Could be a sense of failure around your self-esteem and your sense of self-value, right? So again, you want to preserve, right? You want to preserve what's working for you. What makes me feel valuable in the world? It's about you. Libra rising. So it's about you. How, what gives me self-value. And it's not out here. It's nothing to do with out here. It has to come from deep inside you. And this is just being like, claim it. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. And just that very fact, I have value. I have something to contribute, right? I have resources inside me that are ready to blossom and to awaken now. I don't have to rely out there, right? So those expectations are going to show you your attachment, right, to others. That's good. Okay, so Scorpio rising. So we're going back through the wheel here. This expectations with your relationships, your partners. Yeah. And then that could be codependency for sure for Scorpio rising. And this in turn gives you a sense of failure just about yourself and your appearance, right? So you can go to blame like, I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not handsome enough, or attractive enough because my partner is going, right? Is leaving, or I can't attract another partner, right? So it can bring up this sense of failure. And again, it's letting go, detaching from other people. This is a codependency thing too, right? With the expectations in the 7th house. So to allow this dynamic. It's not just about letting go of the people. It's just about letting go of the dynamic, right? That's keeping you in a fantasy. Expectation keeps people in a mental fantasy. They're not in reality. They're in this fantasy of life's going to get better when, right? In your case, when a partner, right? When a marriage partner comes along, then I'll be happy and fulfilled. And that's just a fool's game, right? So here life comes along and shakes it all up, right? Blows it all up. Yeah. Okay. Let's go for Sagittarius rising. And that is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the 6th house. Right? So expectations for Sag rising, expectations around your day-to-day work, right? The job that you do, but also your health. It can be expectations about your health, right? How healthy you should be. You should be more healthy because you do this and you do that. And again, it's about change, right? Maybe you got to change up. Well, no, actually, it could be an attachment to being healthy is going to save me, like this obsession, right? Shadows are all about obsessive compulsion about staying healthy, right? Like freaking out about germs and maybe the virus and all this stuff, right? It's about detaching from that, right? That this body is not your ultimate protection. It's your aura that's your ultimate protection. It's your infinite eternal self. The eternal self is never going to like get some kind of virus, right? That's not how it works. You're impenetrable, right? As a soul, as an eternal soul. So to watch that detach from like, I'm getting obsessive, I'm getting controlling. It's the 6th house, right? Everything like I got to get out the gloves and the bleach and have everything clean, and then right, and then I'll be okay. It's going to show your attachment to that, just to let go. I remember a story with an old yoga teacher, and they'd have the ashrams, the ashram living. And so there was one guy in the ashram, this was in the 60s, and they would have their food, right? And everybody was eating however they ate, right? Because they all ate different foods. And they told the guru, right, the leader of the whole thing, right, to come and visit this ashram, because this one guy, he's like insane. He's like throwing other people's food out and throwing away their cookies and everything, right? And any foods like that, he's throwing it out. So what he did, the guru came And he got this guy out, and he said he had like a row of cookies, like Chips Ahoy or something. And he put it down. He goes, "Okay, I want you to eat those." Right? I want you to eat that whole row of cookies. So he did, right? Because he was his master. So he ate the cookies. But it was all about letting go of that attachment. Like, if I even, right, that obsessive mind, if I even do this, right, I'll die, basically, So it breaks him out of that spell. Yeah. Okay. And did I talk about the failure for that one? 42, 6 and 12. So feeling like a failure, that you can't relax, right? That can come up, or you don't have enough money to, I want to go on a retreat, but I can't. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money to take time off work. Things like that makes me feel like a failure. And again, it's like focusing on what helps you to relax, what helps you to spiritually develop, and then feed that, right? Bring your money there, not to like highfalutin retreats or things like that, right? Okay. So Capricorn rising. Capricorn rising is 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in the 5th house, expectations. So expectations around romance. There can be expectations around romance that aren't coming through. This is like romantic romance, right? That can come through not just with your romantic partner, but just beauty, right? Romance is beauty and feeling creative, right? Feeling joy. There could be expectations of that like, I should be more joyful. I should have more romance in my life. I should have this and that. It's going to, right? Where you're attached. So again, it's detaching. Oh, I have an attachment to my partner being more romantic with me, and that's not happening. Right? It's about I have an attachment to this being a certain way. And then you go into, this is going. Maybe there needs to be a change about how I create that for myself, that joy and creativity for myself. And then the failure part comes up in the 11th house. So there could be a failure with friendship in your network, feeling like you're a failure as a friend. You're not a good friend, or other people aren't good friends, aren't good friends to me, right? And your hopes and dreams, you can feel like a failure with your hopes and dreams. And again, it means this, the coin, I don't have enough money to pursue my hopes and dreams. I don't have enough money to be a good friend. People don't like me because I don't have money. Whatever the tape loop is in your head, right? That's what you're here. That's the work you have to do. Okay. So Aquarius is 12, 11, 10. Okay. So Aquarius can have expectations around home. And this is Aquarius rising, so this goes to the collective too, right? And we all are going through this, expectations around the home, having expectations around the home. That my home should be like this, right? My home should be like this. My emotions, my emotional body, I shouldn't have so much fear, right? I shouldn't be feeling so angry all the time, right? There can be expectations about your emotions, expectations about you as a mother. If Aquarius rising mothers too can go through this thing about expectation, attached to being a mother and your role as a mother, right? That can be showing you that. There can be an attachment to home, right? Attachment to home. Yeah. So to watch that. And then the failures coming up with your career. There can be a sense with Aquarius rising, a sense of failure with your career. Again, I'm not receiving enough money from my career, my vocation to support my home, to my home life. right? This is our roots, right? It's our roots, our traditions. This is our family line. It's the fourth house, right? Our deep, deep roots. Yeah. Okay, that's all I got on that. Okay. And then Pisces rising. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So in the third house, so communication, there could be expectations around siblings, right? Siblings. Your communication. I have expectations that you should communicate the truth to me in this way. You can see this with the politically correctness, right? Somebody's talking the truth. Maybe they're not gracious and eloquent and do a big word salad for you so everybody feels good, but they just say it directly, right? People are getting offended by that, and then they completely shoot the messenger. I don't want to hear I'm refusing to hear the message because it's not being said to me in this way. This is the way I expect leaders to speak. I expect spiritual teachers to speak like this. I expect politicians to speak like this, right? Not this directness, this uniqueness. This is about uniqueness. And you feel it, the frequency of somebody when they're speaking from their authentic self. And sometimes it's not gracious, right? It's not all eloquent in this, and I don't like listening to those people because I can feel their inauthenticity, right? So when you're your authentic self, you too will be able to like discern, oh, that person is completely lying. They're hypnotizing. Remember, words are spell. They're spells. Words are spell. I'm going to do a video on that too, right? The power of the language. Power of language. So there can be expectations around that for Pisces rising. So it's detaching from that, right? This whole belief system that this is how it's got to be because it's connected to the higher education, right? The ninth house of spirituality. This is the spiritual teachers. And maybe feeling like a failure, seeing the corruption with a spiritual teacher, maybe that you've really honored and followed, and then the truth is coming out about this person. There can be that dynamic happening too. And just to be open, right? Letting go of teachers and paths and things like that, knowing that you are on the path, right? You are on the path, and those right teachers, if you need them, they'll just appear in your life. That's how it works. Yeah. And also go into your own expectations of how you should speak too, right? How you should speak. So we're breaking out of this, whatever's inauthentic is breaking away. So change, it's like more and more change. Okay. And the last one, Aries. Okay. And Aries is in the second house. Expectations around the money, right? Expectations around money. How much money you should be earning, things like that. Maybe you're seeing your bank account going down too, Aries rising. And then on the other side is the eighth house, so feeling like a failure with your sexual partner, right? Feeling like a failure because you've merged resources. Maybe you're relying on them a little bit too much and you're not used to that. Aries people do not like relying on other people, right? They like doing it their way, my way or the highway. So there can be that sense of failure coming up in that department. And again, it's just about embracing change, right? It's just all about embracing change and letting go of your attachment to money, right? That money is going to give you the sense of value that you're seeking. Okay. So that's it. That's all I got. Any comments before we log off? An hour and 15. Mm-hmm. So much to talk about in these charts. Let me see. Okay. So look for the 32 and the 42 in your chart. And so it's going to be especially relevant to you if you've got those two in your chart. But of course, it applies to all of us. Okay. So let's just close our eyes for a second together. Please don't log off. Just close your eyes for a second. Take some long, deep breaths. Relax the shoulders. And relax your neck muscles. Feel your sitting bones on the ground. Feel your feet on the ground. And just opening up. Becoming receptive to change. This is what it's really about, is change. Evolution is change, and it's growth. And what are you growing? You're growing towards God, right? You're growing towards the divine. This is what the changes are all about. So remember that the ego is losing its power for the Aquarian age. So we can't operate from our ego and mind anymore. And our life experiences are going to intensify to show us that truth. So you can have a really good ride, right? Like an exciting adventure right now. Or you can, right, choose to go kicking and screaming and suffering. So it's really the time to embrace change and really bring in the qualities of the Aquarian age, which is fellowship, right? Friendship. That's Aquarian qualities. Equality, social reform, community. Right? Caring for your fellow man, meaning human. It doesn't matter if you don't see it out in the world, right? Somebody's got to start first. And this is how the wave builds, one by one by one by one. And as you do this, you're going to attract your allies, your soul allies that are just like you. They're probably watching right now, your soul tribe. And letting go of this old world, right? This old earth. There's some that are going to choose to go to this old earth and keep doing their spiritual lessons there. We're not. Right? We've all come in. We signed up for this, to be here in this time and space. So never forget that you chose to be here at this time, pivotal time as the world comes right side up again, when the world comes into truth. So I want you to bring that excitement, that celebration. That's the city of the 42, is celebration of this time. And to honor all of your life's experiences. And they're all going to make sense. Maybe they're starting to make sense now, but at the end of the day, everything's going to start to make sense. That's why that happened. That's why I met that person. That's why I was so drawn to study that. Everything was going to make sense. It's about trusting where life is taking you. It's about trusting life. Okay. So inhale and exhale. And thank you for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. I don't want to make any promises, but I feel like this is a good use of my time, right? To do 2 videos, one with the live stream and then the other more formal presentation. Okay, so letting go of control, trusting life. Okay, so have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. Okay, Sat Nam Aloha.